Hi, this is Mukaddas. So today I was thinking to teach you about the designs which I told you in my previous video that the designs of quantitative research like experimental design and correlational design and survey design. But before the beginning of those designs, you have to understand about variables. So that's why my today's topic is variables. Basically, without understanding of variables, I think you cannot understand quantitative designs because quantitative research is revolves around the variables. Like in experimental design, we study or research the impacts of independent variable on dependent variable, and in correlational design we study the relationship between two variables. So that's why it's very important that the concept of variable must have clear to you. So that's why the topic of today's video is variables and types of variables. So basically, variable can be anything like a phenomena or trait, factor, or anything which can be changed, manipulate, or control or measure during the research. Okay. So roughly we can say variables means the core idea or the core concept or the core we can say subtopic that is studied in our research. Okay, then so let's see the definition of variable. That variable is any factor, trait, or condition that can be changed or vary during study. I told you variable means a trait or condition or a factor or anything that is being studied in or during research. Okay, then the second definition is variables are what researchers pair, manipulate, or observe in order to understand relationship or effect. So basically, when we study quantitatively, then we what we do, we check the impacts or the relationship between two things. The two things are those variables. So basically, our researcher can change, manipulate, or measure them. Okay, so I know this is a bit confusing for you because this will be more clarified after the understanding of experimental design and correlational design, but this video is for your basic understanding. Okay, so when you watch my second video on experimental design and correlation design, then you can rewatch this video. So by this you can understand it in a better way or in comprehensive way. Okay, then we have types of variables. We have types as well in variable. So as you can see my screen that I draw a chart for your better understanding, so you can easily understand that which type is from which type. Okay, so basically when I was a student I used to do this. I used to draw a chart and then write the branches and further branches below them. We have a we had a subject like intercultural communication. So in intercultural communication we were taught many models and principles, and by the way many characteristics and relationships, types of relationships. So we had many things. So I used to draw a chart in which I just draw all the types, characteristics, and principles. So basically it is a easy way to memorize something. By this we can visualize things. You know, we have 8 intelligence. We can say we have a theory by Gardner. This is multiple intelligence. You know, few students are those they can learn by visualize things. They basically visualize things. So that's why I used to do this, that I just draw a chart for make that chart visualize, so it can be easy for all of you to memorize them, to visualize them. Okay, Firstly, we have dependent variable. So dependent variable are the variable which are studied, which are impacted by independent variable. Okay, basically in our research, dependent variables means a variable which cannot be changed. Okay, so let's definition which are studied in a study mean research, which are study in research. They do not change while studying. During study they cannot be changed, but they can be impacted but cannot be changed. Okay, it is affected by independent variable. So let's see independent variable. So basically independent variables means the variable which can be changed or controlled during the study or research. So I told you we can change or control independent variable. It depends on researcher. So basically we observe or we check the results or impacts of independent variable on dependent variable. Basically in experimental design we do it. Okay, so it impacts or manipulate dependent variable. Independent. Lastly, we have demographic variable. So basically which is about demographic or background information of participants, included age, gender and language. So basically we need demographic information of participants for better results in our research. So that's why this is a variable which tells about the demographic means कि their gender, age, language, even geography as well. Okay, so here we have example of a variable. So basically this is a title of experimental design. So see the effect of CLT means communicative language teaching on students speaking fluency. Okay, so basically CLT is a method for teaching English language. Okay, so here we are just checking the impacts of CLT on the fluency of students. So here CLT is our independent variable and speaking fluency our dependent variable, and we are implementing CLT on students to check the impacts of CLT on the fluency of students, that whether they are improving or not. So that's why CLT our independent variable and fluency our dependent variable. Told you that we can change our independent variable. So we if the speaking fluency is not improving through CLT, so we can change the method. So I can replace the method from CLT to GTM. GTM is grammar translation method. This is the traditional method. So if my experiment tell me that this through this method the fluency of a student is not improving, so I will change independent variable and then I will check the result or impacts of GTM on the fluency of speaking of my students. So that's all for today. I hope I am succeeded to clear your confusion and cover this topic as well. So if you have any query or question, you can ask me. Thank you so much.